Scorpio, welcome back to Tune Into Tarot, and today we'll be diving into the month of November 2021. This reading is for anyone with a sun, moon, or rising sign in the sign of Scorpio. This will be relevant for you, so without further ado, let's tune in to tarot for the month ahead. So with the energy of your recent past, it's showing up as the Eight of Wands. And this is an energy of fast movement, quick thinking. A lot of things are happening very quickly. You're moving around a lot, all over the map, taking care of business, or you may be traveling, especially air travel is indicated with the Eight of Wands. There's like a fast clip to life. You're moving around a lot, very quickly. A lot of things are happening very quickly. There's just the pace of life is moving very briskly now that Mercury is direct and most planets are direct. I think just a couple of them are still retrograde now. So life is moving. And then with the first week of November, Scorpios, we've got the King of Swords. And so this is bringing a clarity of mind. It's bringing quick speech, quick thinking. You're able to communicate concisely and very articulately, and you're able to lead from a position of clarity, and you're able to feel empowered and charismatic, and you kind of say the right things, and yeah, just feeling really confident and clear in your mind about what you want, and kind of what you say, you can make it happen very easily. Now, in the second week of November, it's odd, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So what this does is it puts a match on the board. So it's bringing to light maybe a soulmate connection or a partnership or a business partnership even. But if it is in relation to a romantic relationship, you may be looking at something from different perspectives, like opposite perspectives or opposite ends of the spectrum. You may be in a disagreement with your partner or your business partner or someone you work with, or someone you're in a close relationship with, whether it's romantic or not. It just seems like you're not seeing eye to eye, you're on different levels, or you're seeing things from different perspectives, and you're kind of not able to come to a compromise. There's some kind of disagreement or imbalance happening between you. Very interesting. Now, aside from kind of looking how the Queen of Swords and King of Swords interact together, as a standalone in the second week of November, the Queen of Swords reversed is indicating a communication block. Actually, it's like kind of the opposite of the King of Swords, where you're very open in your communication and direct. The Queen of Swords reversed is very kind of withheld and unable to speak. There's a communication block. There is a lack of confidence in your communication. You're not able to express yourself freely. You might be feeling constrained or restricted in some way. So it's very opposite energies. I'm wondering if the King of Swords is just being very commanding and direct and sort of assertive with what they want, whereas the Queen of Swords is just kind of feeling attacked and backed into a corner in some way. Now, in the third week of November, we do have the Moon card, which is bringing to light possibly a secret or some information that was formerly unknown or hidden. It's illuminating something. It's bringing something to light, something to the surface. Now, what's also interesting is that in the third week of November, we also actually have a full moon lunar eclipse landing in Taurus, which happens to be Scorpio's seventh house of partnerships and relationships, or contractual partnerships or contractual agreements. So this could indicate a marriage partner or a significant other or your soulmate or someone you're in a relationship with in some significant way. With the Moon card or a lunar eclipse happening in that area of your chart, it could bring a closure, because full moons do bring an ending usually, or some kind of closure, or the closing of a cycle or ending of a cycle. So you may see a relationship dissolve at this point, or some kind of ending to a cycle of your relationship. Like your relationship might take on a new form or a new vibe or a new way of expressing itself, where maybe you find out your partner is gay and now they want to pursue a different kind of sexual orientation, and because that information was hidden and now it's brought out to the surface. So whether or not you guys stay together, your relationship takes on a kind of a new light and a new energy. And it's usually surprising, I guess. Now, what's also interesting too is with the King of and Queen of Swords sort of mirroring each other, they're like on these opposite ends. The Moon card too shows two dogs, or actually it's a wolf and a dog, but they're on opposite sides of a track or a path, right? So there's kind of this separation energy coming through this month. And then there's a third party here, the crawfish at the foot of the path, I just noticed. So some other things with the Moon card before I move on to the last card of the month is often it can bring out this indication that we need to investigate sort of our peripheral vision rather than staying on the straight and narrow or the path that's been kind of worn down, or people have laid this path before us. It's kind of repeating what others have done. It's indicating that we need to actually look on the sides or the peripheral of the path to find the diamond in the rough. Maybe there's a piece of information or there's a gem that's sort of stuck in the thicket somewhere that will actually bring some really important information that will allow us to find a compromise in some way. It's kind of like the missing piece, or if there's something alternative, there's like an alternative path we can take or an alternative approach or something off the beaten path that's important for us to investigate right now in order to find the compromise or the piece that we are looking for within this partnership or situation that feels very unbalanced. The last week of November, we have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is sort of positioned in a way where he's just looking over and assessing the situation from almost from above, or just from a different viewpoint, from outside the circle a little bit is what it seems like. So it's almost telling me that maybe we need to consult with a relationship therapist or a coach, right? Or a third party that can shed a perspective or shed some light or some wisdom on the situation from outside the bubble between these two partners. It's getting someone else's advice or guidance. And I'm seeing the King of Wands as presented as potentially being that person. The other thing with the King of Wands is he's a visionary, and he's able to manifest his dreams very easily and seamlessly by not approaching something on his own and building something from the ground up with his own hands, but he actually delegates responsibilities to others. Usually he hires this work out to people who are experts in their field. And that with the support of a team, he's able to realize his dreams and bring his vision to fruition, manifest. So perhaps there's a way of healing this relationship by delegating tasks to others, possibly. Maybe there's sort of the break in the relationship has to do with one person feeling like they're taking on too much or carrying the weight of the relationship, or somehow there's this imbalance. So perhaps if you're able to delegate some of the work to others, or some of the tasks, or somehow share the wealth or disperse the responsibilities in some way, then maybe that will bring some kind of balance to the relationship. But I do see that if the goal is to become the King of Wands, someone who's able to manifest their vision, I see that as a means of delegating your tasks to others and not taking everything on yourself, because it can be too much for people. The other way I saw this show up was perhaps someone with the Eight of Wands indicating air travel. Perhaps one of the partners, either you or your partner, was traveling. And because of the global state of the world right now, perhaps your partner or you got stuck in a certain country because maybe the borders closed. And so you were not able to travel back home. And so maybe there's some kind of separation happening between you and your partner because there was someone traveled and now they're stuck where they traveled to, and you're having, and even with the Moon card, the two animals on the separate sides of the track, they're separated. Perhaps you're having to consult with someone, an expert or someone, a consultant of some kind, to help bring your partner back home. You need some kind of outside advice to help facilitate that return. Maybe something like that is happening. Now, in the final words of wisdom, we have vanishing mirror, which says ego sublimation. And this has to do with themes of ego sublimation, letting go of self-centeredness, becoming a vessel of possibility. Do you ever wonder if your self-definition has become too rigid, too fixed around what you've come to learn, so that you contract your life into zones of safe or unsafe? This here is okay, but over there, well, that might be too risky. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving. We are all products of our conditioning, so remember that this is part of the human experience. Yet you are not meant to remain static. Seeking only what you expect, even if it appears ambitious, is still too narrow. You go nowhere when you hesitate to move out of your comfort zone. When you focus too much on yourself, this way you become a servant of the ego. It edges God out, removing the magic of possibility. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self-definition soften, moving beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are and allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? So what I'm seeing with this card is almost like if the King of Swords is looking in the mirror and sees the Queen of Swords reversed looking back at him, you have the ability to be very clear and concise with this open ability to communicate very eloquently and articulately and be a very commanding presence. And yet you look in the mirror and you may see the Queen of Swords reversed looking back at you, who again is very blocked in their ability to communicate, who feels very restricted or confined in some way, or trapped or unable to express themselves freely. Now, by utilizing the moon card, which is that path where you're separated, where you've got the animals on either side of the path, it's like the zones, it's bringing in the zones of safe and unsafe. So you're stuck in a safe zone right now where you're repeating what others have done before you, or you're repeating what you've done before. But there's an indication here that you need to branch out and try something new and experiment and have kind of an experimenter's mindset. Try something new. Shift into a zone that's unsafe. Push yourself past the fear. Try something risky. Try something new, because that is what will get you to the King of Wands. It will put you in the position where you're able to realize your dreams and manifest your vision, bring your vision to life. He's a visionary, and he's able to bring his visions to fruition by hiring work out to others. So by not only pushing past maybe you have a fear of working with others. Maybe there's an indication to collaborate. Maybe by working with others, you'll be able to put yourself in the position of the King of Wands and bring your vision to fruition more seamlessly. So maybe there is an indication to work with others and collaborate, or somehow just try something new, try something off the beaten path, try something alternative or underground or edgy, something that hasn't been done before, something experimental. So kind of tap into that if you can this month, Scorpio. But that's what I see for you, and I hope that you found some guidance and insights for your month ahead. If so, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment below, let me know how your month unfolds, share this with any of your Scorpio friends, and I do thank you for being here. I will check in with you guys next month. Take care.